I mean,
Very
we're not
small.
at the point where we shouldn't count. We still count.
You definitely don't. But what are you, 98?
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah,
It was crazy, dude. At the turn of the century, 2 years old, partying with your family.
I don't mean like that. I don't mean that we can say we grew up there.
I'm gonna miss the 90s so much.
No, I'm
Baby
saying
Jerry.
that we can count for saying we were born in it.
Oh,
the
yeah,
people that
sure.
were born at like the end of 99, it's like, all right, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I was born in 2012, but I'm not like, it's not.
That's why they said the world was going to end.
Oh,
it was just your arrival.
I was born. No.
The coming destruction of Earth. Oh, just Jude.
Dude,
What?
I was born in the middle of the night during a thunderstorm.
All right, so roll the intro.
Evening, officer. Is something wrong?
Just keep your hands where I can see them. Routine traffic stop. We got reports of someone driving under the influence. You know anything about that?
No, I'm only under one influence.
What's that?
The influence of Jesus.
It's time for Under the Influence.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
Here we go. And
iCarly in 5,
4,
4,
6,
3,
Oof.
2. Welcome back to another episode of Under the Influence.
It's worse every time.
I'm one of your favorite co-hosts. My name's Jude Daniel Crane. I'm joined by
Jerry Wayne Crane.
and
Levi.
Finnegan Thiessen.
Finnegan Thiessen.
Finnegan Malachi Thiessen.
Malachite Thiessen.
Finnegan Obsidian.
Filigree and Fervor Thiessen.
Calligraphy.
Colonoscopy. Thiessen.
Levi Colonoscopy Thiessen.
Thiessen.
Yes.
I go with
all right.
colon for short.
Ooh, I like it. You
And just
skip
sign with the
colon and you go straight for colon.
No, yeah. I use a colon
Yeah.
for signing things as my initials.
Levi
you
uses
have
his
the
colon to
shortest-
sign things.
You have the shortest signature of all time. It's just
A dot.
well, 2.
Dot and a comma.
That's a semicolon.
That's a semicolon.
2 dots is a colon.
2 dots.
There we go.
Colon.
Yeah.
Not a dot. That's a period.
Well, how do you use your colon to sign something?
Oh, you were still on that, huh?
Yeah, I'm still on that bit.
All right. Hang on one second. Let me get the.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. That was for you. If you're listening to this podcast and you're still listening, I'd like to talk to you about something called Discord. Discord is a tool.
Why do you think it's called Discord?
Why do I think it's called? I don't know. 'Cause
Don't you
talk?
find it strange?
Well, you talk on it, so discourse.
Yeah, but those are two different words, Discord and discourse.
Is discourse a different like tense or usage
No,
of the
no,
word
no.
Discord?
Different word.
Are you certain of that?
Yes.
How are you certain of that?
I just know it. And
I would do that thing that you
Discord-
hate, which is look things up.
Well, I
and-
do hate being wrong, and frequently when things are looked up, I'm wrong. So Discord is like discordant.
Yeah, defining discord, disagreement between people, lack of harmony between notes sounding together,
Yeah, Discord.
and then discourse. Discourse is written or spoken communication or debate.
There you go. Two different things.
Speak or write authoritatively about a
So
topic.
why would it be called Discord?
I don't know, man. That's the name they went with. Why is Apple called Apple?
Well,
you
each
can
one
take a
comes
bite
with
out
an
of it.
Apple sticker.
That's why. Because Steve Jobs was like, "I'm going to call it Apple." Why? Well, we're going to give out stickers.
also
You remember
have a
all the
sticker
remember that
business.
10,000 that box of 10,000 stickers
All
we
that,
bought?
all the Apple memorabilia that I've got.
Now they're
got lying
stuck with
around.
it.
Well, I'm going to start one of the most successful technology companies in the world. Oh, well, easier said than done. I'm going to do it. And I'm
You know
going to
that
offload.
hyperfixation that I had on apples like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to find a way to sell all of that.
I'm going to offload all this garbage I bought. No, I'm here to talk to you about Discord for just a second. If you enjoy any of the things that we talk about, or you're enraged by one of the things we said, or you just found it perplexing, please ask us about it, tell us about it, or get involved in the discussion on our Discord, the Christian Influence Discord. It's a place where it's like a hub or center for Christian influenced content and community and gaming. So if you're interested in any of that, and it's also where we host our discussions based off of this podcast, go to christianinfluence.net and you can get involved there. There's a little button, click it, you can join our Discord, and you're done. We've got quite a few people there that just love to talk to each other and do stuff together. Are you guys trying to figure something out? Are you guys looking at memes?
No, I'm looking at the Under the Influence Discord.
Ooh,
Yeah.
really? For what?
Well, I just saw this thing that was posted by the guy in the chair. And it says portal gun.
Let me go down to it. Okay, I'm not seeing that in Under the Influence.
It was about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was
I
thinking,
see where you're seeing it.
thank you. And I was thinking, gee, I wish I had a portal gun.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think the first thing you'd do with a portal gun is?
Shoot a portal under me and shoot a portal above me.
So the first thing you do with a portal gun is kill yourself?
Die. Kill myself.
Oh, you die.
Oh, yeah. No, I would do that to like a tree or something.
You're just going to make a tree reach terminal velocity and then launch it
and then
towards
I will let go of it so it will crash into the ground.
And you die.
Splinter.
Why would I die?
Wait, why would he die? Oh, yeah, it
And
will
then
explode.
splinters, like-
Yeah, but to what distance? I can be
Well,
away from it.
it depends.
It's not a
It might just
nuclear
go into the
explosion.
ground.
Yeah, that's what I figured it would do, and then the
Yeah.
ground would be disrupted
'Cause it's in
it would be
dirt.
a big crater, but it's not going to blow up like a bomb, right?
I would do it with
Well, it might be like that thing that people say from like that G.I. Joe movie where
Yeah,
you
but
have
that's
those
got to be like
giant-
enough.
Yeah, but it's a tree.
Yeah.
The terminal velocity can't be like. I would take a tungsten.
Fine, I'll do a
cube.
building. I thought you want me to blow up the world. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I would take a tungsten cube and do that, and then
Just watch it go.
yeah, like shoot it at a subway train.
Oh yeah, because you could open a new portal and it would come out that direction.
Yeah.
I was thinking you could just turn it off and watch it go crash.
You could do that.
Wait, is that what you were thinking when you had yourself inside it?
Oh no!
Yeah, I really am apparently just going to kill myself. No, with the portal gun. That's what you would do? You
Yeah,
would-
like through a subway train.
with people in it?
No,
Okay. Why
An
a
empty
subway
one.
train then?
I think it'd look cool.
An empty subway train. One of the, standard.
Empty subway
Yeah.
trains. I think it'd look cool. Be a cube shaped
Yeah, it would
hole.
look cool through anything. Do it through a tree.
Yeah, but I can't really go into a tree and look at
You
it.
want to go inside of something that you shot a hole through.
Yeah, so maybe like a building.
Like the Pentagon.
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm gonna
This
do it
is
to
a
the
reference
Pentagon.
to the shape and not to any.
Yeah, of course.
Building.
That building that
A-
is in that shape.
Yeah, like a pentagon shaped building.
If there were one, which would be cool, you would shoot a tungsten cube through it. And then go inside and look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh,
what would
well.
you do, Levi?
You can use it to compete with FedEx and UPS and.
Yeah, but you have the gun, so you have to.
I am the only one with the gun?
No. I mean, like hypothetically, you can't really compete with FedEx or UPS.
No, because you
What
couldn't
is-
go like door to door.
Yeah,
Door to door. Yeah.
unless the packages you don't use cardboard, you use tungsten, and then each package you get to reach terminal velocity, and then you have
launch
a
perfectly.
you have a cylinder on top of your HQ, and you deduce the perfect angle to
Yeah.
shoot it where
That
it's supposed to
requires
go.
other types of magical.
Tungsten is not magical. A cylinder is
No.
definitely not magical.
The exact proportions. Oh man, are we gonna do this? I gotta mute this tab. I'm sorry. Mute tab. There we go. Discord's peeking through.
Whoa,
Peeking through.
that's creepy sounding.
Yeah. No, Levi, what would you do with it?
I don't know. Kind of like mess around, just having like two, like side by side, then just jump into one, and then do the woo.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like a trampoline.
Or
Ooh, put one.
you get you get something stuck. Like you have the portal be large enough, and that they can't like reach the edge, and then you place 2 of them, and then you drop whatever it is, and then it goes up and down, up and down, up and down until it reaches that like even, and then it's stuck. There's nothing to walk on.
Oh yeah. Well, you could do that. Would happen to you if you did it.
No. But I'm saying because theoretically I would like have the wingspan to like go to like the sides of it.
Oh yeah.
But like,
if
something or someone didn't have that,
yeah, like a baby.
yeah, they would just be stuck.
You could harmlessly put just set the baby there,
And then they're in like 0G, like the perfect like.
except
Wait, how? How do you do this?
a portal here, flat on the ground, and right next to it, also flat on the ground, another one.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
you drop a baby in one of them, and it'll fall through the other one, and then fall back out the other. But eventually, it'll diminish, and it'll reach a point where it's just hovering.
so you purposely would want to like hold the baby barely over and barely drop it. That
You
way-
could do that, yeah. It'd be less fun for the baby, but
Well, no, because the
the
goal
baby
is to
could
get it
have
to
a-
float, right?
the goal is to
Isn't that what you were saying? It would float.
eventually, yeah,
What were you saying, Levi? 'Cause
same thing.
But you can have like some fun, and then it just ends
Like
up.
you can
floating.
throw the baby down,
and then
I'm
the
confused.
baby is
How would
stuck.
it float?
because you don't have infinite energy.
No. I understand. So eventually you would, but you're always coming out of it and then going right back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't fall as
eventually-
far, and then you won't fall as far.
So eventually you're going to come up and float. Oh, you're saying half your body?
Yeah,
would be in
half-
one of the
Eventually
other?
you would
I'm
reach a
sorry.
point, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was confused. I thought you were saying eventually you would like just come up out of one and stay that way.
No,
And I was like, how would that happen?
It's
'Cause
just
I
a
thought, like,
glitch.
you were putting one and like reversing their directions or something ridiculous. Question: what would happen if you put one on the bottom of your mouth and one on the roof of your mouth?
nothing.
Okay.
You could just like
Yeah.
use your tongue.
Whoa! You could touch your own tongue with your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. The bottom of your mouth?
Yeah, like underneath your tongue,
Okay,
there's a
yeah.
portal, and on the roof of your mouth, there's a portal.
You could taste your
put
own tongue?
Yeah, you put your tongue down, and then it comes down and licks the top of that tongue.
Gross.
You could
Or
catch.
you put food in your mouth, and it's just you just like, oh no, it's going, but it goes at an angle until finally it just shoots through the side of your cheek.
Oh yeah. If you could catch an
You have to
M&M,
have your tongue out of the way.
Yeah.
Because if you just stick
A
it
grape,
forward-
like a bullet, just shoots through your tongue.
that'd be rough. You could throw up an M&M and catch it in your mouth. No one would know what happened, but you could catch it under your tongue, and it would still land on your tongue.
So you're showing people my tongue is up, and then all of a sudden,
And then it's on your tongue.
but they would see it like fall from the top of your mouth.
Oh, I wasn't even doing it for other people to see.
No,
you
it
could
was
just throw it
just
up
for you,
and go
for yourself.
"Oh," and it would land on top
And
of your
then-
tongue.
Yeah, and it's just like cool for you.
Yeah, just for me.
Just for me. Now, what if you hid one of these little portals on the roof of your mouth, and then somewhere else? Here's a hypothetical: you have a little one side of the portal on the roof of your mouth.
Huh?
Where are you hiding? Now, you can't get rid of it. Where are you choosing to put the other portal so that you can do hilarious things? Where you're
just,
not
like-
where you're not worried about someone finding it and doing something to you, like putting dirt in it or something, or worse.
A safe.
Oh well, so you couldn't really ever do anything fun with it.
Oh, ooh. The bottom of my mouth.
I was just thinking because then you could like be chewing
You
your
just
food,
put it in
chewing
like
your
the
food.
palm
You
of
could,
your
you could still
non-dominant
eat
hand,
if you're careful.
and then you just
That would be incredible. Well, I mean, you're gonna find that you.
no, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's still terrible.
You could like
I would put the other end. no, never mind.
oh. So take a chain, if you have one on the top of your mouth, the bottom of your mouth. It's if someone had that, like if you had that, Jerry,
On the top of my mouth and underneath
Yeah.
my tongue.
we strap you down. How would this work? Oh, no, this is just murder. Never mind.
What?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Well, it's like you could feed the chain through the top, and it would come through the bottom, and you pull it and feed it back through the top, come through the bottom, and fill their mouth with like maybe it's like a not very thick chain, but a super long chain, and like a football field's worth of chain.
Could you? Well, eventually it has to have space next to it, the same amount of space
Yeah.
that is length. Why? So you would still be walking around like.
Yeah.
And
And then if at any point they like moved it, it would. Yeah.
yeah, it would black bolt.
Yeah, it did blow them up.
Yeah, but you're like, do we have 50 feet of rope? Because we need it. I'm like, all right. And you grab the end of it and yank 50 feet of rope out of it.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's like a clown pulling out bandanas out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Except it's you in a chain in your mouth.
Don't pull too fast. It'll break my teeth.
Yeah. Okay. How about the Mario Magic Star?
What about it?
Makes you invincible.
What about it?
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah, what if you had one?
What if I did?
What would you do?
For like 30 seconds, you're invincible?
Yeah.
Or like
How long
for
is it?
longer?
I think it's 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's something like
I only have one. I can only ever do it once.
Sounds like it. But pretty much you could just like run through a wall like Kool-Aid Man. Bullets stop. Yeah.
I would save it for the inevitable day that I am mugged and I have a wife and kids with me.
So
And
your
I
wife
don't
and
want my
kids
son.
die.
I don't want my son to become Batman. So I
Let him
look
die.
at the mugger and I just walk forward, making him think that I'm going to take the bullet.
Oh.
And then I squish the little star behind my back as I grab the gun, and he instinctively shoots. And then I can take the gun away from him and hit him over the side of the head with it, and we can run.
So it's like that Superman thing where like they shoot and then
Yeah.
like, hits his eye.
Well, because presumably I will start going do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do. So I have to do it at the last
Wait,
second.
and whatever you touch just instantly dies.
Is that how that works?
Pretty much.
So I don't touch the guy. I just touch the gun.
Well, okay, I guess if you could like walk through a wall, there's nothing keeping you afloat. So you'd also like I would feed it to the guy and he would
Oh, I thought you meant that you could just like break through a wall.
I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Not
you,
just
you don't
float
walk through like a ghost.
You can just like you break whatever you touch.
Oh, don't play a lot of Mario.
Huh?
I don't play a lot of Mario.
That's okay, buddy. Yeah, I don't know what I would do with it, dude. Did you have something, Levi? Sorry.
Oh. No.
Oh,
You just for that like 30 seconds, you're unstoppable.
yeah.
And if you touch anything, it just like gets destroyed, basically.
So it's like the worst Midas touch.
Yeah.
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 So what did you do this week?
This week?
This awake?
This week?
This week? That's a good question. I never really remember.
Did you get out of bed?
I did that about 7 times. Let's see. Monday was work. We were training some new people at work, which has been fun. Things are going to be changing. We're bringing new people in to hopefully allow us to expand a little bit.
Not do our jobs and have them do all the work.
Right, that's correct. I don't think I did anything overwhelmingly exciting. We did record another episode during the week rather than on a Sunday like we usually do. That was interesting. Which, if you're listening to this now, that was last week's episode. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it because it's pretty good. What? Oh, we played D&D. We played D&D. We played D&D. Yeah, that was fun. We did the last of our 3 little Session 0 one-shots that's going to prepare us to run the campaign, which you can all listen to when we're ready to release it as a podcast. Yeah, that was super fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really heard your opinion on it yet.
No. Yeah.
Really?
I had a lot of fun.
So did anyone in that party almost die?
Nobody almost died.
No one almost died.
But all of them were really put through the ringer, more than any of the other groups.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was. I did something. So for those of you listening, we are starting a campaign. So for those of you who play D&D, you know what that is. For those of you who don't, it's just like an ongoing story. And with more players than anyone should ever play D&D with, which is 8 people. And I'm going to do my best to try and run it. But the way we are integrating everybody at the beginning of the story, there's kind of a common trope, which is you all meet in a tavern. And you just kind of suspend disbelief a little bit because everybody becomes friends and you start working together. But I didn't want to do that too much, and I wanted there to be a reason why some of them already knew each other before we started playing the actual game. So we're doing these one-off sessions with 2 or 3 of the players at a time. So they get a chance to kind of know each other as characters already and have some fun. And so that you guys know, the first one it was fun. It was very fun. It was between 2 players, which if you listen to our D&D podcast in the future, you'll get to know them, David and Jarrett. And It was a lot of fun. It was mostly like stuff that happened in town, like some hijinks and some stuff. And the next one we did was our guy in the chair, Levi, and Levi's brother, who, if you have listened to this podcast, some of you know from episodes 2 and 3, Byron. And they did kind of a strange take on a mystery that they had to solve. Forensic evidence was left behind and this kind of thing.
Oh.
And then...
It was the butler.
It was the butler.
Was it really?
Every time.
Is that a meme or was it really the butler?
That's just me.
There was no butler. There is no spoon.
It was poor people.
And then the last one we did, which is the final one before we actually start playing for real with everybody, was so different in comparison. Like, it was not... There was a bit of mystery. Like, there is evidence of some strange phenomenon, figure out why it's happening.
Yeah.
It was just because Mike was there.
But what they had to go through... In the trope of level 1 adventures, it's like, there are rats in my basement. Go kill them, and I'll pay you 5 gold. Or like, one of my cows was stolen by a flying creature. Go get it back and kill the monster.
Get your cow back.
Yeah,
Yeah, the monster just left it alive.
yeah, that's true. But whatever. But this one, I just was like, okay, this could make a fun like level 10 thing to do. Let's make it work for level 1. And it was terrifying, disgusting not in an inappropriate way, but disgusting, like, just, there's just, it was like icky dungeons that they're crawling through, and mold and
Sewage.
it was fun. I had so much
Pretty
more
much,
fun.
yeah.
Why did you want to crawl through sewage?
No one wanted to.
Nobody wanted to.
Yeah, but we had
But
to.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like city sewage, but it was gross.
Did anybody get a mouthful?
Oh yeah. You have literally no idea.
Yeah.
You have absolutely
One person intentionally kind of got a mouthful, and then everyone eventually got a mouthful.
Have
Against
you ever
their
heard
will.
of elephant toothpaste?
No.
You know those videos of people where they have that science experiment where it's like the stuff with
It looks like
the soap in it, and then
yeah.
they dump the vinegar, I think, in or whatever, and it goes and shoots out this like foam. Yeah. There was a bit of an elephant toothpaste situation.
We got we all got elephant toothpaste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
If we ever released, we did record those because we're testing, our recording process using these. And maybe someday we'll release them as like Origins episodes or something like that. I hope we do, because I'm hoping that there are people that are listening to this right now who are like, what in the world are they talking about? And then like a year down the road, we release those and they go, elephant toothpaste, I get it. Because, it was crazy. But I had so much fun with that one. I think the one I had the most fun with was David and Jarrett's. For whatever reason, it was just fun. I had a lot of...
for those who don't know, Jarrett is ginger. So
Yeah, it was super fun. Just like doing a lot of NPC interaction stuff. And then your guys's, I had a lot of fun with some of the random stuff that happened. And I think you'll be happy to know, Levi, that one of those things that was random kind of happened again in theirs. And it was kind of funny. Yeah, an
Like
NPC,
one of the cool random?
Huh? It was cool.
does it have to do with the end of ours?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, it does.
So pretty much everything we're doing though right now that we're talking about, it's got to be so boring to listen to, because, give me 1 second. I got to delete a message before Jude sees it. Pretty much everything.
What does that mean?
Pretty much everything that we're talking about right now
you don't? Okay.
on the podcast has to be terrible, because what we're doing is I'm referencing something that only Levi knows and Jude doesn't know, which is funny. But for a listener, this has got to be so boring. Hey, stop sending signals to each other. My entire campaign is unraveling before my eyes.
We're speaking in ASL.
I don't think that's ASL.
Yeah, I don't think you know what that means. But no, all of this to say, we've had a lot of fun, these little one-shots. I'm very excited to play D&D with all of you very soon. I don't know when we're starting it. Hopefully in like 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
And then
2 weeks? Not just one
that
week.
gives me some more time, though, to work based off the things that we've done, craft something fun for the beginning, which... you all know the thing at the very end is very similar for all of you, which is you
It's
were all...
gotta be.
Yes. You were sent to go do something for someone by someone, and that's
You were sent to go do something
clearly-
by
You were
someone.
sent by someone to do something for someone.
and you're all going to meet up because of that. But I'm very excited to play, and I can't wait till we have a little bit of content, stored up and it's edited, and we feel comfortable releasing it. Because man, I can't wait for people in the Discord and in our
You're gonna
community
like
to
my
hear
character.
it and have fun.
Yeah, am I?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Levi, you especially will like Jude's character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll like him.
So let's move on from this.
Wait,
All right.
What?
will I like your character?
I think so.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, good. 'Cause if you play a character I don't like, you can't play.
You
it.
got to back off. Yeah. Let's move on from this because I think this has got to be, mind numbing to listen to because we're just
really?
we're just going back and forth.
I love it when I'm listening to a podcast and they're like, well, on the Patreon exclusive episode, and I don't listen to their Patreon, and they're like referencing things, and I have to be like, well,
Really, you love that?
How does that? How
But
did
this is worse because there is nowhere for them to go to understand what we're saying.
Well, there will be in the future.
Not entirely though, because we're like Levi. That
these
one
are the
thing?
session zeros?
Levi, that one thing. Jude, that one thing that Levi doesn't know what that one thing is. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, I'll explain
right.
our entire session zero to you real quick.
All right.
But no,
let's
how
go
was your
through
guys' week?
Beat by beat.
Other than the D&D you got to play, Jude.
Oh, my week
Yeah.
highlight definitely playing D&D. Nothing happened.
That's cool.
I got an air conditioner in my hovel,
Me
which
too.
is fantastic.
Yesterday at the wedding I catered, which was very interesting. It was this really, really beautiful venue.
Yeah.
We were over like setting up the buffet and stuff, and all of a sudden I heard a very familiar song, which actually I will play it for you guys because we can do that. That's fun.
Is it a Beatles song?
No.
Hey,
I won't,
Jude.
I won't put you through that. Don't worry. I get it. Levi, how was your week though?
It was fine. Mostly boring. Had a job interview.
Ooh.
In this
that go?
job interview, the interviewer was a kid that I went to middle school with
Was he still a
Last
kid?
year?
last year. No, he's not still in middle school.
Ah.
Yeah, he made it out, but he changed a lot.
Dude, you just looked at it.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter anymore.
Hey, I
Community episode?
I don't know. Okay, Jude, you can help me find it because I obviously don't want this one.
Then I don't know
It's the
what you
ambient
want.
one that always plays.
There's so many.
But it's the really famous one. But there's no way I'm gonna find it.
I know there's a famous one.
Yeah, it's the one that always plays. It's this one of the Skyrim theme songs.
Well,
Like
just
that
an
one that
ambient
always plays
sound.
this really beautiful ambient music that like the over the forest shots and stuff kind of. I don't know
And
how
it's
else
not
to explain it.
Dovahkiin?
No, it's like pretty ambient music. It worked really well because we're at this beautiful venue in the
They were
forest
playing that?
next to it. Dude, it was like I was in Falkreath or something.
Wow.
Like it was so beautiful because it's this beautiful venue, these big forest trees with the sun like twinkling through, and this creek that's running by, and people
Backland
catching
Creek.
crawfish and
People
and
were
then
catching crawfish
yeah,
at a wedding?
not crawfish. What are they called?
Crawdads?
They were
Crawdads, whatever. Yeah, yeah. Because there was this little river right next to me. This guy was like, "Dude, I got one," and he was holding one.
Oh.
It was fun.
So did they play the song or did you hallucinate?
Well, after I ate one of those crawfish, I
yeah.
started hearing this song.
Whole.
What? Whole? Yeah.
Pincers and all.
No, they were. It was really cool because they started playing. Just, I guess it might have been intentional. It might not have been, but it was just this. It was one of my. I'll see if I can find the song and then edit it into the podcast later.
Oh, yeah.
But
background.
so that people know what song we're talking about. But it's just a really pretty song, and it works so well apparently at weddings. Never would have known because it's not distinctly like when people play Dovahkiin, like Carson did. That was cool because it was the song he like walked up to, right? Wasn't it? The song he
I
walked
have no idea.
I
wasn't
think
there.
so.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I just watched it.
Online, that's right. I'm pretty sure he did. Or he walked away. I don't know.
No, it was before, I think.
It was on his way up.
After the fact, everyone was crying, so.
That's true. Dovahkiin.
I love my wife.
No, like that's the really famous and recognizable one. But this is just beautiful ambient music. But it's recognizable if you've played the game.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I sent Carson a video of it. But
he didn't reply.
no, he doesn't speak to me anymore. But the place we were at, like, it was so pretty, and I was just thinking, like, I feel like I'm in Skyrim. That's cool. But yeah, so that's something that cool that happened this week. But if there's nothing else that we wanted to talk about here, was there? Okay, it looks like there's not. We talked about something last week, and I think it's fine to call it out now, whether we edited it out last week or not. We checked the suggestion in the Under the Influence channel in Discord from resident, I guess, member of the community who we love very much, MikeyNoodlez. He suggested a topic for us to talk about, which is biblical manhood and what it means, how to practice it, and good examples of it. He mentioned that we've kind of touched on this idea before, biblical manhood and how important it is, and using singleness for the kingdom. But he is curious to hear how the three of us are practicing biblical manhood and getting prepared for our future wifey. We used that as a prompt to talk about something last week, and then immediately, without realizing it, our topic did not discuss that at all.
No.
It wasn't like we bailed on it, but it was just quite literally that everything we talked about, things that we're struggling with, what areas in our life that we're unsure of, and trials, and then ways in which those are similar. But we and then talked about ways that we can change that, but we did not talk about.
No, we had a great conversation, but it was heavily adjacent to the topic and not connected at all.
Yeah, it was adjacent, and I think this could serve as an interesting two-part kind of episode thing, because last week we talked about ways that we know we are failing, right, and ways that we should change that. And now I think this is an opportunity to talk about why biblical manhood is important in our lives, and possibly ways that we have seen that we might be on the right track, right? In humility, of course. But yeah, so to the two of you, I will ask.
Not you.
Well, I will answer as well.
Oh,
But
are you going to ask yourself?
Don't worry, later I'll ask myself.
That's weird.
Okay, you can ask it.
Can I
Jerry,
ask
what is it? How is this important to you?
Yeah.
No, the question, go.
Okay. How about a good,
question.
clean phrasing of the question?
Got it. Let me give you some good, clean phrasing. What is biblical manhood? What does it mean to you? And what are some good examples of practicing it? How are you using your singleness now for the kingdom of God? And how are you practicing biblical manhood to be prepared for a wife someday? Is that a singular phrasing of the question that's good enough?
Well, that's a lot of phrasings of a lot of different questions.
Well, because I'm rephrasing what MikeyNoodlez asked, but maybe we boil it down to what are some good examples of practicing biblical manhood and ways that you are doing that right now so that you are prepared for a family someday, if that's what God has for you.
Something I'm doing I can immediately recognize is, this is going to sound kind of funny. It's unintentional. But I'm not looking for any kind of romantic relationship. Just because I had this...
That's hilarious.
No, I meant because, I'm single because I'm just not looking, that kind of thing that people say. But I had a conversation with my grandpa who's in town from Florida, your grandpa also, Levi.
Oh, yeah,
and,
I know.
And my dad. And they were asking me about this. And I was like, well, I was being a bit facetious. And I said, well, I have absolutely nothing to bring to the table. And we kind of joked about it and talked about it. But in truth, I'm just at a point where I don't have a ton of time, frankly, and just like things to bring to a relationship. Like last week we talked about things that we needed to work on. And the things I talked about were pretty integral to myself, and I need to work on those things. And so I'm making sure that I'm not rushing into any relationship that will just end up falling apart and then maybe even souring and then becoming nothing.
Right.
Right. Because I'd rather have, if I went my whole life and had, no romantic relationships ever, and then found like the woman who was right for me. I'd rather do that than have a bunch of negative experiences with a bunch of different people, because I kept rushing in and trying to find something that I wasn't ever actually built up for or ready for.
I think that what you're talking about right now too, there's a really easy avenue that I think we took last week to get to, like based on what you're saying, to what we talked about last week too, which is like, you're talking right now about how you're at a place where you are consciously aware of some failings in your life that need to change so that you could be.
Yeah.
And I think we didn't really say that last week, but that is probably where our minds went to be like, this is what we're talking about. When in actuality right now, you are giving this as a reason for why you are single.
Yeah. And it's kind of, it is what you said. Like, there are potholes in my life that I'm trying to fill up, but I don't just want, like a straight line. Like, I want things above the pothole once it's filled up. I want things that I have.
Like
that
flowers.
Like flowers.
I want to drive over flowers.
I'm working on growing a garden.
To drive over it.
Actually, it's not a terrible analogy, growing a garden, but not just having the flat garden bed, but like having things in your life that you can bring to a relationship if you want to have a relationship for the right reasons, to have a relationship to build up to marriage, to a family. I want to have things in order. Like, if I had a ton of student debt, I wouldn't want a ton of student debt just kind of lingering around. Personally, that's a personal thing. I don't think that's a every single person type of thing. But
because no matter what you do, there are going to be difficulties, and there are going to be things that it's not like you're going to be, oh good, I'm perfect now, or oh good, everything is good. I can get married.
I'm out of debt. I have my retirement set up.
I can get married now, and then I'm never going to have something because of something I did in the past come up that makes the relationship difficult, right? Yeah. But I think it is important also to be able to recognize, like, oh no, there are specific things in my life right now that if I want to set up a relationship to be godly, these things have to be addressed.
Yeah.
Or else it will be built on sand. Right?
Yep.
So, sorry, I kind of cut you off.
I don't think you did.
But what are, you said right now, that you're giving a reason why you're not looking for something, and the reason, or no, I guess
I was saying one thing I'm doing is not rushing into anything. That's
a way you're exemplifying.
And I have two reasons for not rushing, but I'm just.
So is not rushing into a relationship an example of biblical manhood, or
no,
is being wise?
There's like three questions that we tried to put into one. So, what am I doing to prepare? Not having a bunch of failing relationships beforehand. Okay. Right.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Not having all this baggage of negative experiences.
I can't give you a straight answer there. I answer all three of the different kind of questions that are in there. An example of biblical manhood, if you want that, doing everything you do with love and strength and confidence. But I've been talking for a while, so Levi, what are some things that you're doing? Or one thing, if you want, then we can do a round.
So the questions you just answered was...
What's something you're doing right now, or consciously not doing, I guess,
in order to prepare
for having a healthy relationship with someone in the future?
Which, in a way, is both difficult and easy, which is not looking. I'm not making a joke at your expense.
I mean, I'm trying to get more stability in my life. Like, I moved back in with my dad after some deaths in the family and loss of a job, and so like right now, went to an interview last week, but building faith and being in the Christian community that we've been in, having fellowship with the guys, strengthening our faith, being confident in answering people like that have questions about the faith and stuff, and or people that are just wrong and confronting them about different things online, at least like within our like community that we've got. I mean, I'm working to be in a better place that doesn't like bring on a whole bunch of old baggage, like kind of what Jude was saying. But also just making sure that my foundation is sound enough to survive, like, and not be built, and not have that be built on sand, because that's like the foundation for those. It's the building blocks that I'm bringing to a relationship.
Right.
Not to consolidate both our answers, but like we're being patient, or at least trying to be,
Yeah.
in an attempt to not make a ton of mistakes beforehand.
Well, now you took mine.
I'm sorry. I guess we're all kind of saying the same thing then.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if you were done, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm really, really trying to be more patient. I'm looking to the Bible for examples of patience and talking to people about being more patient. Because I think, not to say that I'm expecting whoever I marry someday to really test my patience all the time, but I think that it is an area in my life that sometimes I fail. And also I think it's an area that, I think it's something that's super, super universal in life. Like a lot of things are, I guess. It doesn't make patience more special than anything else, but it's just something that has been weighing on me a lot lately and been on my mind. So it's not to say that it's something that I'm failing in all the time, like we talked about last week, but it is just something that has been on my mind a lot. And I don't know if maybe that's the Holy Spirit maybe convicting me about some things. I don't know. But I do know that I have been recognizing a lot of opportunities to be patient, thinking about it, asking God for patience, and then being given these opportunities to practice it. And then this verse we have in front of us here, 1 Corinthians 16, 13 through 14, talks about, it says, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, and be strong. Let all that you do be done in love. And reading that, another thing I've been thinking a lot about lately is, we are, as men, expected to be strong, and I think that's an important thing. But I've been trying to think a lot lately about what strength is, other than just physical strength, And I think a lot of it is, ways to exemplify strength comes with discernment, like being decisive, understanding when to do what. Because, like, not only just with when to say specific things, but like knowing when it's appropriate to cry, because that's such a thing that culturally right now everybody's like, we've had this huge shift and change in like men cry, which like, yes, of course. And I think they should. But like culturally, everybody right now is like, cry more all the time. Please cry. You're not now you're not a man unless you cry about everything.
The social definition and construction of what it is to be masculine has drastically shifted.
Oh yeah.
It's
shifted from like almost an extreme of the conservative ideals.
What could be argued was maybe too far, to the degree of never cry, always be strong, both physically and emotionally, and
which I think these things are important.
Yeah, but they can be taken to a gross extent, or misinterpreted to a gross extent. And now they've gone almost completely the opposite direction.
Versus like just close yourself off to feelings, be a stone wall.
Yeah.
Versus now, literally fall to pieces at every word.
But like the appropriate thing there, though, which I think were the misinterpretation of what, where it used to be misinterpreted, now it's changed, is because discernment is the important thing there, right? Is discerning when to be like that stone wall, not emotionless, but like to be strong like stone, like to stand resolute, to be otherwise outwardly unaffected, and then knowing when not to. And now, right, you can see examples in the world that are, when we say something like that, and we say it with confidence, we believe this to be true, we might be pointed at and told, oh, well, you don't get it. You should just cry more.
Yeah.
Which I can say from personal experience, I cry a lot. So I'm not really worried about how much I cry. If anything, I think maybe I do cry too much. But no, I can say that I don't think I need to be told to cry more. For me, it's really, I actually am really trying and consciously trying to use discernment about like what things should even be cried over. Not to say that it's wrong to cry, just that like, why be anxious and worried, right? I mean, the Bible talks about not being anxious and worried. And sometimes those are things that can lead to crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so using discernment in those moments to look at it and go, okay, you know what? I don't need to cry over spilled milk, right? I don't need to cry over this right now.
Because you do that a lot. Did you cry over spilled
Dude,
milk?
every morning when it's those Costco milk jugs.
I know. You pour it and they go right down the bottle.
And then I can't discern at that point what on the floor is milk that I can put back in my bowl or tears, so I just have to wipe it up.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't crying, I could save that milk.
You have to lap it up.
Ugh. Yeah, no, so I think something I'm doing a lot is really trying to understand what strength is, and I think discernment is a big part of that.
Use this stone as an analogy, which is a really good one, and also a good example.
Levi brought that up.
Oh, you use the stone as an analogy, which was actually a really good one. And oftentimes people, it's a good example of the misinterpretation of what to be masculine used to kind of be. They would take the negative attributes, which is to be obstinate or
that's a good point.
like very coarse and rough with your words. When really a stone, they're using negative examples. A stone should be resilient, should be able to withstand pressure, but also a stone
Yeah, go ahead.
at some point does break, and there are some things that you should cry over. So I think,
And even a stone can be unmoving, but for the right reasons.
Yes.
You should not move on the things that you know to be true, biblically accurate, like, and the things that you should be confident in, and so you are confident in them, right?
Yeah, and be a stone, not a pebble. When a stone moves,
That's a good point.
It moves. It can knock down trees.
Stones or pebbles are kicked around constantly.
Yeah, don't be that.
Anything that encounters them moves them. Like what's the verse that talks about doubting? A doubting man it moves like with the wind. What is it? Somebody help me out here, guy in the chair. We've talked about it before. Is this a crazy thing to jump to?
No.
But no, that's what it sounds like. What you're saying, right? If you are not firm, and it takes careful study and purposeful like decisiveness to become firm, right? But if you are not, and you've just like been living life, James 1:6-8. But he must ask in faith without doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed around by the wind. Thank you. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord, since he is a double-minded individual, unstable in all his ways, right? Like what you were saying about not being confident and decisive with things, and not actually seeking out guidance and wisdom so that you can be confident in those things. Now you're just tossed here and there. But when you do go out of your way to be purposeful with that kind of thing, then you won't have to be, number one, you won't have to be worried about nearly as much about being confronted with things that would typically make you wonder, but also might make you afraid, might make you scared, all of that. You don't have any reason to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we're not the first people to use stone as a good analogy for men, but like a example of, I think, biblical manhood is the stone works really well. Like not being a pebble when a stone does move. And when we should move, every time we do, it should be in a godly direction. And when you move, be like the stones that 3 guys on a mountaintop push off with their legs, and it knocks down like 13 giant trees. And it's like when you move, I think there's kind of a burden. No, I'm serious. Like
have effect.
There are qualities, like men should have a certain quality of leadership. We should all be trying to achieve and be taking initiative, as men. That is a role that we ought to fulfill.
And that leaves a groove that other smaller stones will go to.
That's a beautiful.
Well,
Look at us.
And the only way that you get to that point, right, is by having history with it, so that you have not necessarily reputation. Well, partially, but you have not
reputation, but definitely let it be known. Let your character show.
Yes.
Let people know
you
your
have
character.
History of said character.
Yeah.
So that when you make moves, they make moves.
Yeah. Having a strong character, it's just an invaluable quality. And character means, if I look at Jerry and he just starts all of a sudden out of nowhere being this guy that kind of takes initiative. Unfortunately, if he wasn't that before, that's not what character is. Character is something you have to work on and keep and maintain consistently. And if you do, it's an incredibly valuable trait, and I think something that's found biblically.
And people don't have to wonder or be concerned or question your decisions when you have integrity and you are
trustworthy.
Yeah, because when you are always being the same, right? Well, you know what I mean? Like when you are consistent with your character, like you're saying. Because if you're not, if you are being blown and tossed around by the wind with, I heard this thing, so I think this is how I'm going to act today, you know, or whatever, right? No, I mean, there's important inconsistency. And taking long and, purposeful attempts to maybe change things in your life when your mind is being changed about what you believe to be right. Yeah. Be careful and methodical with it, because if yesterday you were confidently yelling off the mountaintop about this being what is right, and the next day all of a sudden you go, wait, I heard something else that no, this is it. I mean, and that can be in all areas of your life. I mean, political, theological, everything, right? But so be stone.
Be stone.
But if you're going to be, and when you are stone, be like the stone that rolled away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm talking about from the tomb.
Oh, yeah.
You know what moved that stone?
An angel, God, Jesus, all of the above.
There you go. Let's just
Holy Spirit.
Move on. No, so that's us answering that first bit of the question there right now, right?
Huh?
That was just us answering that first bit of the question, right?
And that kind of turned into, it was, what are we doing right now? And I've got a few more. I mean, something, I also talked to my grandfather, who's been happily married for a long time. He's old as the hills, and I love him. And I was talking with my dad that night. But talking to people who have been in and are in successful marriages and relationships, make sure you know at least as much as you can, and you are prepared for having a relationship. Yeah. Because the question is aimed at romantic relationships, and you got to take them seriously. And the
word wifey is specifically used.
Is it actually the word wifey?
Yes. WIFEY. What's wrong with that?
I just don't like the word wifey.
I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue what you were saying. Sorry to derail you.
Just derailed entirely.
Sorry, man.
I'll be talking to people who are in successful relationships and, get advice from other strong men. So you don't come to a point where you're completely caught off guard and derailed and don't know what to say.
I mean, I think what you're,
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I think what you're saying too can be summed up by saying, like, be willing to learn and actively learning, right? Yeah. Because, and that should be true of many areas in your life. But since the area we're talking about is building a godly relationship, that should be learn what that is, want to learn what that is, and then go learn. Yeah. And so asking questions, observing, taking mental and maybe careful notes, and going, I see the way that this was done, and I understand that's because that is right, and I see why.
Yeah.
And I mean, a vast majority of that is going to be reading and studying your Bible, and then talking to the people, like you said, that are in those.
Yeah. Which I know it can kind of sound like I just answered the question with basically what the question is asking.
Which is how to do this?
Yeah.
Well, the dangerous thing about asking us about how to do this is that we aren't there.
No, ongoing mythos about the podcast is that we grew up in the 90s, and
and what's funny,
truth be told, I did not.
We have this idea that said person who's asking the question might be one of the people that thinks that about us, or at least at one point thought that. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that he does think that about us.
No,
because no, he doesn't, because he says using your singleness, he knows that we're single. We very clearly addressed that in the recent episode.
Wasn't even alive.
I was not even alive during the 90s.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I always think, like us, barely skirted being alive in the 90s.
We just scraped by, but we did not even.
I mean, we're not at the point where we shouldn't count. We still count.
You definitely don't. But what are you, 98?
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah,
It was crazy, dude. At the turn of the century,
No.
2 years old, partying with your family.
I don't mean like that. I don't mean that we can say we grew up there.
I'm gonna miss the 90s
I'm
so
saying-
much.
No, I'm
Baby
saying
Jerry.
that we can count for saying we were born in it.
Oh,
the
yeah,
people that
for
were
sure.
born at like the end of '99, it's like, all right, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I was born in 2012, but I'm not like it's not.
That's why they said the world was gonna end.
Oh,
it was just your
yeah,
arrival.
I was born. No,
The coming destruction of Earth. Oh, just Jude.
Dude,
What?
I was born in the middle of the night during a thunderstorm.
That's very
You
telling.
are Thor.
Yeah,
So
I was born with a cone head.
that is true. It's not even a joke.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke. A lot of things happen to me. Maybe that would be a fun thing to talk about someday on the podcast.
I mean, I can only really think
the
of
cone
two.
head, the fork,
and
and the nail bed.
and all the
what?
times that you were dropped on your head. What?
The nail in the head.
The nail bed. The bed of nails.
Oh,
You haven't heard about this one?
no.
Next
put
week.
you-
Next
Hey,
week.
come back next week because
Wanna
I will
hear
tell you
about-
3 incredibly interesting
All I
and
see
terrifying
is, like,
stories that will
little
probably
baby-
only anger my
little
parents.
Baby Jerry being like put into his crib, and then like
a
the
bed of
camera
nails.
moves over, and it's just nails.
Dude,
sticking
I was a tough kid. I didn't mess around. I slept on nails. They're all laying down though.
without even getting a tetanus shot.
Yeah, I've had 2. And everybody says tetanus shots are like terrible. It's just a shot.
Okay, I've had like 4, right?
What?
Or
We're getting
You have to get more than
like
one?
3.
We're
I
getting
don't
a little
know.
off topic here, but go ahead. And then we'll...
I've had like
We'll be right back.
I've had like 3, but this
I think I've
last
had
one
2
that
or
I
3.
had, it was just like 2 months ago, I think. It actually like had pain that was like
Okay, so maybe it's
lingered.
something that in adulthood is worse.
And it was like, that's so weird. I never had that before.
Because when I got my first one, I was like 10.
But it was just like having a sore muscle. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't anything that bad, but it was like considerably more than the past when it was nothing.
Maybe people just say tetanus shots hurt horribly because all shots are just quick little boink and you're done. And tetanus shots just leave you with a little bit of dead arm.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had an adult tell me when I was like 10 that like they got one recently and it hurt really bad. It hurt for a while. And so I went into it thinking it was going to be like terrible. And then I remember coming out and being like, it doesn't hurt at all.
Do you have to get one to go
Maybe
to
they're
Mexico?
over preparing you so it feels not so bad.
Maybe.
Do you have to get one to go to Mexico?
I don't know, probably.
I mean, you should get one.
I feel like I should have gotten one, but
Well, they're not
I don't think I've ever
entirely
gotten
very
one.
preparatory either. I mean, it is important if you've had one, you don't have to get one should you
5
step on,
years.
you know. But like I got one, you can
But
also
I
get
get
it
them prepped.
retroactively.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because like I stepped on a nail when I was like
I
10 years
remember
old.
that.
Yeah, that hurt real bad.
That was
Well, I
hilarious.
didn't step on it. I was running through the garage
Yeah.
barefoot, and one was sideways and went up my foot because I was running. I ran it. I hit it horizontally,
Oh, that.
but it wasn't like stationary, you know. So it went. I like caught it with my foot, pushed it against the wall, went into my foot, and then I walked.
Yeah, and
into
then
the
Dad
house.
took the backside of the hammer and just pulled it out.
No, that didn't happen. It also wasn't in that deep. It was in like an inch deep,
An inch is a lot for a nail to be in your foot.
but it fell out. Like I didn't have to yank
How
it out.
big of a wound did it leave?
Oh, so he doesn't have a
Inch
foot.
deep.
I don't
anymore.
have a scar. Maybe it wasn't an inch, half an inch.
I thought
inches
that
of-
scar on your leg was from when you broke it and they had to do surgery, not from when you got
nail
a
in it.
nail stuck in it.
Yeah, no, it's a nail that scraped from my ankle halfway up my leg.
And they had to put a titanium plate in.
Yeah, to hold the skin together. Let's get back on track.
Yeah. What are some examples you guys think of using your singleness? Forgot.
Ways that we think we have used
Well,
our
yeah.
singleness.
When
for
all the
God.
women hit on me, I just go, you should have a relationship with Jesus first.
Hey, you may want a relationship with me, but the only man you need in your life is Jesus.
I know a guy
they're like,
that
Levi,
would
we're at
love to get
church.
to know you. It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but not me.
Not me. Go away.
Yeah.
Dude, for some reason, my little brother doesn't have a key to the house.
Okay. What a weird shift.
Yeah.
Of,
That's it?
No, but he's just reminding me not to lock the door.
oh, okay.
Why don't you guys get him a key?
He has a key. I don't.
He just
Oh,
lost.
so
I
he doesn't
talked to
have
him.
now, he doesn't have
I've
one.
talked to him about it like multiple times.
How
Why
do
do
you
you
have a
guys
key to your
leave a
house?
key and don't tell him that it's there so he doesn't like lose it or whatever he did with his other key and put it in the gutter or something. And then when he's like, leave the door unlocked. And when you don't, be like, there's a key in the gutter. Caleb, go get it.
Don't say his name.
Sorry, you can that out later, I guess.
It will
No,
be out.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I didn't say his real name.
Not his Christian name.
Not his... I don't know what other types of names.
Caleb, like
Yeah.
Caleb.
So let's get back on track.
I
Levi.
tried.
Sorry.
So Levi, what is a way right now
That I use my
mean,
singleness.
You're using your singleness for the kingdom of God.
Well, I have more time on my hands.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And that's the thing that Paul said, that it was better to be single because then you can devote all of your life to God. Mm-hmm. And then once you're married, you have to devote your life to both.
I should have gone first.
What?
So that I could have used this answer.
It's okay. You're going next.
And so, I mean, I've got more time on my hands, so I can, I just was talking to their grandpa, and
who's they?
What?
Who's they?
You and Jude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And was told about a bunch of books and things, and because I've been asking a few people for that kind of stuff recently, and I mean, I've been listening to like other sermons online and just like listening to the Bible recently, and so
do you listen to the Bible like audiobook style?
I mean, yeah.
I think that's how I do most of mine. Just
Really?
as well. Yeah, on drives.
I've literally never thought of that.
Bible.is.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I use it on my computer while I'm doing stuff that doesn't need sound.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just thought that was cool. It's a good idea. I will
oh.
have to do that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's a crazy idea. I just
Get with the times, old man.
Yeah. I am old.
Oldest one here in the room.
If you weren't here, I'd be the youngest one in the room.
2012.
Sorry, continue what you're saying.
But
2012.
yeah, just
Jude's 10.
because I had a pretty good foundation, like growing up. I was raised pretty well. I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
But
Nobody's arguing with you
disagrees
on
with
that.
you. I mean, I think so. Jude doesn't.
Jude thinks
I believe you.
All right. And so I just want to build it up stronger, taller, and because I mean, like I know that growing up, I asked my parents a lot of random like Christian and theology things, and my mom was studying for like seminary stuff at the time, like biblical teachings and stuff, and would answer things, and then would just like let her tapes that she had bought, like to help her with schoolwork and just to deepen her own faith. We'd like watch it like while we were folding laundry and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. I've been like wanting to get back more into it, and have been spending some time doing that. And now talking to your grandpa, another avenue.
He's not gone yet. I don't mean dead. I mean out of Oregon. He's not gone yet, but before he goes back, he's been working on a list of books that he's going to give to us. And if he can get any of them, before he leaves, copies of them, he's going to give them to us. But the three of us specifically, he wants. I mean, because of his, like he said to you, because of his interest in mine and Jude's life, he has an interest in yours.
Yeah.
Because of the closeness and the connection. And so, yeah, he has some that he believes are fundamental that he wants us to read. So I will, as soon as I can, get that said list to you. If not the books themselves, but.
Yeah.
So I'm going next?
Yeah.
I would say, I'll preface this by saying, it is not to say that what I'm about to say I'm doing is impossible while in a relationship. But part of being in a relationship is, kind of pouring your life and stuff into another person and sharing in your life, right? And that can probably consume time, which is why I was going to talk a little bit about time.
Yeah.
But I would say, based off of that, the fact that I agree, right? I have a time on my hands that I may not have, at least in some aspects, if I was in a relationship. And so I'm trying to use that differently. I will share the way I'm using some of it because it's something that I came to the conclusion of because I was thinking like, if I'm not trying to build a relationship right now with someone, how can I kind of take that and shift that in a different direction? And I am consciously trying to just pour more of myself in my life into the people I love around me, right? And also people that I otherwise don't know very well. So people in the community that we're a part of, like I'm not, in my 30s, established, have everything going well, and just an example of godliness all the time, right? But I am 23. There are some things that I understand, and there are some things I have gone through. And so I am trying to pour back into the lives of those that I know are, significantly younger than me, middle school, high school. And in ways I can, I'm trying to be either a good leader or at least be influential. So, because I know, it's interesting. There's this thing that everybody kind of says at some point, and they think they're very clever for it, and so have I, which is, oh man, we are the age that we thought was cool when we were then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're like, whoa, when I was in middle school, I thought the high schoolers were so much older and cooler and wiser and had everything figured out. I think like there's benchmark ages we reach where we realize, oh, like when we were in middle school, the high schoolers were what was cool. And they had everything figured out when clearly they didn't. And then you reach high school and you realize, oh, if this is how they felt, obviously that's ridiculous to think that, they had everything figured out and that they were so much smarter because I'm stupid, and this, whatever you say. But like, and then when you're a high schooler though, you're looking at the 23-year-olds. Mm-hmm. You're like, they're not only either in college or out of college, they're still young adults. So they're doing fun things, but they're doing important things. And now that's where we are. Well, not Jude, but that's where we are. Jude's very close. Jude's awkwardly in between those two and always will be.
Am I?
Well, whenever I'm at one of those
to
benchmarks, you will always be in between where I am and the last benchmark. Probably not always, because I think those will get more.
I feel like we're at the same benchmark right now.
No.
Oh.
Well, I never really looked at a 20-year-old when I was
that's true.
17. I looked more like just past 20. But that's also my personal experience. You may have looked at 20-year-olds and been like, they're only 2 years ahead of me, but they've got everything figured out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But so you are. Well, also because you are pretty much always where I'm at, it feels like.
Yep.
I don't mean that.
They're actually born conjoined. And they had to cut me
I mean
off,
more like
finish developing.
you and I are pretty much always at the same
Artificial womb.
level on most things.
Yeah,
It
no,
just
that's
seems-
true.
Except for the things that you're smarter than me about. But
Yeah,
so
like
I'm always
Muppets.
behind you is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
No, what my point is like I feel I more lately have been more self-aware of the fact that I think I'm at one of those benchmarks right now that I used to look up to. So clearly there must be a different benchmark that I'm looking up to right now. And obviously there is. And now I'm thinking,
Wow, those 80-year-olds.
yep, that's the
They have it
benchmark.
all put together.
That's what I was saying. The benchmarks get farther
Retired,
and
Social
farther. They get farther
Security.
and farther apart, don't they? I hit 23 and now the benchmark is
Further.
57 years. But
Those tight-knit bingo games.
are you just going to insult old people now?
I'm sorry.
They don't all play bingo, just 99% of them. But none of the ones I know. Interesting. No, I have more recently been kind of self-aware of the fact that I am at a new one of those benchmarks. I am now at the point where I used to look up to 23-year-olds when I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm at one of these benchmarks now. And so I'm like, well, I can look back at the other high schoolers and confidently say, okay, what could I give to them that I wish somebody had given to me? And that's it. So that's my answer. I think it's important for men. It's important for women too, but we're guys, so we're talking about ourselves right now. I think it's important for men to look back and look at the people who are younger than them and are trying to figure it out. And some of the things they've, at the very least, they know to be true, to share with them. Because I know from anecdotal experience that I was wanting help. And yes, I got it. And those people that helped me were very important to me. And without them, I don't know where I'd be. But there were things that I wanted help with that I also didn't get. So I would like to serve that purpose. So there's my answer.
It's a good answer.
What about you, Jude?
Oh, thanks for asking. Quick preface. I said further when you said farther, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I could be wrong.
That's fine. I don't care right
I
now.
think further is incorporeal concepts and farther is physical concepts. But
I think you're right.
this is going to sound like a cop-out, but it's not. I mean, other than the fact that the last bit of what you said is kind of my answer. I've been in a few relationships and made mistakes and seen mistakes. And so I do, at any point with my friends, when we're talking and guys being dudes, I do kind of like, it is one of the ways I'm using my singleness is just to, tell the mistakes I've seen and done so that other people don't have to do them, because it's stupid to think people have to make their own mistakes. No, but truthfully, just by hearing the question, I have realized that I am not in any real meaningful way using my singleness for God. I do not get everything right, and I think this is a good example of it. But I really have not. It's an area in my life that I just haven't been doing, and I haven't really thought about until this question was asked. And unless I'm completely off base, I think some of the guys listening probably are in my boat. Yeah. And I suggest we all jump ship, because I've heard two really good answers. The boat that is not using your singleness. I've heard two really good answers, and the whole time I've been listening, and I've been thinking, like, man, these are real things that my close friends are doing with their lives, and I'm not. I don't think I'm doing anything. I'm not actively doing something wrong, but I'm not doing something that I should be, which is using my singleness, using the time I have. I don't have time to invest into someone romantically and spend a ton of time with them, but I do have bits of spare time that I'm just taking to myself that I could be spending a lot better elsewhere, because I'm not in a relationship. Right. And
it harkens back to, in everything you do it for the glory of God, right?
Yeah.
And we've thought about other areas of our lives, like the games we play and how we can glorify God with that. But this state of being you are in right now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe be introspective and kind of.
There are people who are younger than me that I could have like mentor relationships with. Mm-hmm. Whether or not I'm in some in-between weird benchmark, I mean, no, yeah, I have spare time that I could and should, and I will be using differently and better.
I mean, to be fair, this is something that's more new with me, going and venturing, like to spending extra time, like studying stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because I've kind of been just coasting off of what I already knew for a long time.
Yeah, I think all of us have.
Yeah, it's a comfortable place to be. Yeah, coasting off your knowledge.
And I think whether in intervals or not, for the three of us specifically, pretty close together in the timeline, we all have started to
kind of sync up,
with our purpose.
Yeah.
With our lives having more purpose, right? I mean,
and you get to have the most benefit from it.
Why? Because he's the youngest.
Yeah, I don't know if
he
it's
has
any
more time with it.
He started earlier than we did.
That's true.
Oh,
so
that's you assuming that he started. Maybe he's the one here that hasn't.
I just said I think I'm the one that hasn't. I think I just admitted to that.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, like with what Levi's saying, to make you maybe feel a little bit better, right? I also had to really think about that.
Yeah,
I did have to really think about.
There are ways
because I'm aware that I've been doing this.
Yeah,
I'm aware that I've been thinking I should be and trying to, but I did have to really think about. Does that apply to being a godly man?
And no, there are small bits of my life that I do dissect and take away and use for good. But no, as a larger context, yeah, I haven't had the independent thought to myself of just using my singleness as something
that's important,
as a tool, and the things that singleness provides, like time. Listen, audio listener, my dearly beloved, our guy in the chair
just shared it.
When we only when we have some real, at least what I feel is productive and integral discussions, will fire away into our private Discord chat.
Yeah.
A horrendous joke or gif or gif of something, and boy,
don't worry, we'll share this image for you guys to see.
Does it just radically derail your train of thought?
Deleted the image.
And then
that coward
Yeah,
What a
deleted the image,
coward.
which is a hilarious image.
I
And then
glimpsed.
Levi and I are glaring at him for it, and he's like, I'm sorry. And then he deletes it and says, sorry, I was looking for a picture of Jude.
Well, the picture from my memory was a man who could afford to work out a bit more.
Oh, and he knows
shirtless,
it, because that's
and
his
the man
point.
knows
That's
it.
the humor of the picture.
Jiggling, and was there a rainbow cape?
And had big
rainbow
snowboarder
cape
sunglasses.
and,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So, I mean, to his credit, it looked a lot like I do. I mean, kind of calling me out here.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
I think we're well into this at this point, so we should probably wrap it up a little bit, unless you had more you specifically want to make sure is said. But if not,
If anyone else is in the same boat, and not just not using your singleness, but there's areas in your life that you're not devoting to God that are kind of just blank, and you're somewhat selfishly just, well, I'll take this to myself. Not to say that self-care and time to yourself isn't important, but there are areas in my life, specifically this, that I should be utilizing more for Christ.
for the kingdom,
for the
too,
kingdom,
right?
yeah.
Like to build to no, you got it. I don't need to add more to what you said. You said it well. I think to wrap things up here, what do we want to leave people with? Like you were just saying, if there are areas in your life, well, part of knowing if there are or not is be contemplative, right? Or contemplative.
I kind of want to wrap it up to the theme of the question, so we don't end up ending.
No,
on
I
the
know.
same
I am just
way.
saying before we get there.
Yeah.
In order to do what Jude's saying, think and be introspective, but like really pick apart some of the things that you are doing that are not necessarily bad, because those you should obviously weed out. But those things and really ask yourself, this thing I enjoy or this state of being I'm in, like Jude said, am I using it for the kingdom?
Introspective.
So, no, go ahead. You want to wrap it all up?
Well, to the question, what is a good example for biblical manhood? Leadership, taking initiative, the stone, not obstinance and coarseness, but
not being kicked around.
When you move, mountains, be strong,
purposeful.
Understand when pressure is building up above you and you need to crack, you maybe need to cry. That's okay. But understand when you need to be the stone, when you need to be
use discernment
strong.
to know when, and be the master of your emotions, and be consistent with your character.
Yeah. Ways you can prepare for a relationship. Talk to those who are in healthy, long-lasting relationships. I mean, they're the best example besides Scripture. And Scripture, it's not the first thing, even though it ought to be, when you think, man, how can I be better as a romantic partner? No, look at Scripture. That sounded a bit targeted in a weird way, but it wasn't. No, look at Scripture. There's tons of great examples.
There are.
And utilize your singleness for Christ if that's where you're at. The kingdom.
There's a lot of bad examples to pull away from.
In Scripture and in life,
That are being said to be bad.
That are being
examples.
said to be bad examples.
Not ones that are being portrayed as good that are bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. We got anything else?
One of the relationships I look to is Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox.
Get out of here. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We love you very much.
Roll that outro.
I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are.